This is the one where I keep my eyes open.
Puzzle Bukkit.
What's going on, everybody? This is Fuzzle Bukkit. I am Tricky, and today we're going to do some tips and tweaks for Arena Commander and Star Citizen. So let's take a look. And we'll start off with some game system tweaks, because even if you're rocking a baller system or what not so baller, chances are you're going to need to tweak some things for either performance or your own personal preferences. A perfect example of this is motion blur. Not only does it slow your system down for absolutely no reason, but it also looks just terrible. And it makes your input feel like no one likes motion blur. Why is it even here? But to turn it off, it's actually quite simple. First, you press the tilde key, which will bring down your console. And once that's there, type in r_motion blur equals 0. And if you're feeling lazy and don't feel like typing out this whole thing, the console actually works kind of like a Linux command line, as in you can partially type in a command, hit tab, and it'll actually complete it for you. If it completes the wrong command, don't worry, just hit tab multiple times until the command you're looking for is selected. Now, there are a ton of console commands out there. A lot of them are directed towards graphic changes, things that can change your performance, stuff like that. I'm not going to list them all in this video, but I will link in the description box below an awesome Reddit thread by Zekin, which has console performance tweaks in it, as well as a slew of other tips and tricks you can use in Arena Commander. If you have commands you like and you don't feel like putting them in the console every time you start the game, you can always do this little trick to speed things up. Go into your Citizen Client folder and make a new text document. Open up that new text document and put in all the console commands you want to execute every time the game runs. Save it, and once you're done, rename it to user.cfg. This will make the game run these commands every time you start the game. Next, we'll quickly jump into some ship tweaks. And how do we start here? By reminding you to actually go and tweak your ships. Remember, if you've got multiple ships in your hangar, you can always go to the holo table and swap things around. My personal favorite thing to do right now is adding a third Omnisky 6 cannon to the front of my 300i. It just feels like it gives it that much more oomph, you know what I'm saying? So play around, swap some things, swap some engines, have a ball with it, and don't worry about breaking anything. If you do something that's a little wonky, you lose some cannons, you crash the game, whatever, if you go into your Citizen Client folder again and delete your user folder, you can bring everything back to its original state. Next is something that's really poorly documented and it's actually kind of hard to find. And that's how to change your power settings inside your ship. It's not exactly the most intuitive system to use, but it is entirely possible. You start by pressing F3 when you're in your ship on a map inside Arena Commander. This will bring up your power menu. Now what you need to do is select the triangle on the top left of your UI and get it to start flashing. This is done by your number pad. Now these controls can be a little wonky, so here's a nice little guide to help you along. I find the easiest way to get this selected is by pressing number pad 9 first, then number pad 7 4 times. Once this is done, you can use the 6, 2, 4, and 8 keys as arrows and move the center cursor around to wherever power position you want. G1 being your favoring weapons, G2 is your favoring shields, and G3 is for engines. Now remember, you don't have to go full all the way to one or the other. You can find a middle ground that you like and keep it there. Once you do have where you want it selected, press number pad 9 and that'll commit your changes. Now unfortunately, these settings don't save between ships or even between sessions, so you're going to have to reconfigure this every time. Now this is cool and all, but in my testing, I really haven't been able to notice any difference, but it's good to know. Lastly, while we're on the UI, let's quickly take a look on how to divert your shields between front and back, something that's essential on the 300i. Pressing F4 will bring up your shield menu. Here, pressing the left or right arrow keys will select front or rear shields. Now pressing Enter, and by this I'm talking about your main enter key and not your number pad enter key, will divert power to whatever you have selected. Again, the game limits you from tweaking something to the extreme here. The effect is very, very small, but again, it's something you can notice and feel while you're playing the game. So that's it. I wanted to thank everybody for watching. If any of these tips helped you out, please give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe. We are going to have a Star Citizen contest next month, I think, where we're going to be giving away quite a good prize. So please subscribe. I'll see you guys later, and I'm out.